Gotta throw a party for the day ones. This is Positive Vibes, maybe. PVM, the talk show. I'm your host, Dante Dash Smith. Live Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all already know the vibes and how y'all feeling tonight. It's episode 199 for us. Yes. We closing in on 200. So, with us closing in on our 200th episode, this upcoming Sunday, we won't be live. Yes, I know. But we won't be live this upcoming Sunday. Just taking a pause for the calls before we bring y'all something special for the 200th episode that Wednesday. So, this upcoming Sunday, there will be no PVM talk show. We're just going to post some clips for y'all, a couple highlight reels, of some of the many memories that we had and these 200 episodes up to that point. But yes, this upcoming Sunday, no episode. Wednesday, we will be live for the 200th episode though. So, Tion Wells, how you feeling, player? So let's just get down off the top. Also, let's pay the bills. Shout out to T-Shirt Mercenary, official sponsor for PVM, responsible for all our merchandising goods, whether that's T-shirts, hats, stickers, decals, labels, all that shit. You can hit up T-Shirt Mercenary, or you can hit up myself, Jeide, or hop in the PVM DM to place your order. It's going to be a PVM winner, so make sure you properly attired. Miss Luminous, how you feeling, love? Also, fly on over to Fly 'em Out Catering for your smoothies and breakfast needs. Got a couple new smoothies and recipes that's about to be presented as we come to a beginning of September and an end to August. So definitely tap over, check out the menu, see what moves you, and go from there. What else do we got going? Honestly, I think that might be all the news that we got for you guys. At least that's all that's coming to mind. So with that, what are the vibes? Jeide, Purple, how are y'all doing, loves? Also, Auntie Sharon, how you doing, love? Room is getting a little populated. I love it. I love the energy. I love the aura. Love the vibes, y'all. So Miss Lumina said the cows. Okay. Oh shit, we with the jokes early, so I actually need that laugh. So tonight's topic is actually a thank you to honestly a thank you to like the name. It's perfect for our show, Positive Vibes Maybe. So the comedian Gary Owen, he was recently on the Breakfast Club having an interview. And he was giving exactly positive vibes maybe, because the vibes were maybe-ish, And within his dialogue, he was talking about the demise of his marriage, And he was talking about numerous times. He mentioned within that dialogue, he mentioned the dissatisfaction and the times he felt just emotionally checked out, like where he felt like, he was doing a disservice to his partner to even continue in the relationship if he didn't end it. So, like with that in mind, it reminded me of numerous times, like myself, where I've been emotionally checked out, and I actually wanted to just bring that conversation to PVM, like discuss, like, how do you deal with being checked out, like out of a relationship? Is there ways that you can prevent that, you can circumvent that from happening? Or is that just a matter of you just outgrowing a person? So honestly, I just wanted to bring that to you guys, unpack this whole conversation and more. So, when Jeide is available, we're going to start the conversation up. But until then, we're just going to tap into the vibes and see how everyone is doing. And, just discuss what's going on within the world, what's going on as a whole, up until that point, So, Jeide, send an invitation when you're ready. I honestly don't see it up on here, so I couldn't send it to you. Okay. So, I'm in. Alright, let's see. Yeah, it's still not coming up for me, Jeide. I'm going to try to send it to your way. And see if I can send it down that way. Oh, so also Shout out to Toy Roman and David Grant created this T-shirt for Fly 'em out for me. Almost forgot, gotta give them their love for that, you know. Giving me something advertisable to wear when I'm in these streets delivering these smoothies, you know, making it look just a little more professional. And also, shout out to previous guest, Caroline Wilson. You know, she definitely hopped in the DMs and gave me some excellent news today. I'll tell you off camera, though, you know. But definitely, you know, shout out to her, you know, and the many blessings she be sending our way. Definitely appreciate it. Jeide, how you feeling today?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. It's been a long day, but not a bad day. So it's a blessed one, you know what I mean? How you?
I'm good. You know, I actually had a situation that could have got real negative and real intense. You know, I could have got into some, well, not in no real trouble, but I would have made like a real hectic of my day. You know, like I had a chance to really instigate a fight, and not even instigate it because the energy was being brought to me, but just initiate myself into the energy. And I was proud of myself because I was able to dial back, and you know, even in the midst of throws, I was able to remain calm and just be like, you know what, you're not even worth my energy, you know, and remain calm, cool, collected. You know, it's the first time I ever remained so calm in a situation where the opposition was so angry, and they got even angrier by the fact that I was so chill and relaxed and less days ago. And my response to them, like, it just made it perfect. It was just like, you know what, you mad, man. Like,
That's how it work, man.
yeah. So that was good. That was good. You know, it actually set off the day. You know, and actually kind of had I initiated in that negative, the good news I got later on after that would have been null and void. So I was glad I didn't. You know, it was almost like a test from the heavens. You know, like as they say, when good things are arriving, you know, the devil going to test you the most. You know, so it's
That's
definitely one
true.
of those situations.
I'm glad that you was able to elevate beyond, man.
Yeah, you know, growth and maturity, and even just recognizing what the situation is, like just not even giving it my energy. You know, picking and choosing with the dabbling and what not to dabble in.
Yeah, man. You sound like you've been reading your law of attraction.
Somewhat. I've been in these audio books crazy, Jeide. Like that's what's been keeping me going, you know. And then, like with my job, my job fucked up, Jeide. My job fucked up. So management was in competition with so much that they overordered by a ton. So this week they've been keeping the staff there much longer, which is providing much more hours. And in turn, they've been switching us around, throwing us to new positions that we haven't worked before to kind of utilize the manpower they have at hand. So this week, I've been doing a task I've been clamoring to do for a while for the money increase, but also because I just fit the bill. Like I just know how to do it, you know. So I've been finally given the opportunity to do it this week, and I've been pressing head so much with it. Like that's been a bonus out of it, but with impressing heads is also now they're expecting me to take this position, you know, and now, you know, when I'm hearing the more details of the position, I'm like, I'm not really sure if I really want to go that route. But I
Mm-hmm.
do like the fact that I picked up the information, you know, and it's making me, you know, more mindful. And with that, it's kind of affording me the opportunity where I can listen to even more audiobooks, like just doing a task, because I'm doing less strenuous work and it's more mental work, you know. So the books are helping me just kind of keep my mental locked in so I don't get bored on the job too. So
I respect that. Miss Luminous, I'm eating cashews, not peanuts. You know what I mean? I love cashews. It's not the type that I love, but I love unsalted raw cashews. These are unsalted roasted. But I love cashews. Cashews are amongst my some of my favorite nuts.
I can dig that. I like the honey roasted. You know, those definitely give me the most. Like
I respect that.
I'm a sucker for them honey roasted nuts, you know. And the
I respect
pistachios.
pistachios is another good nut.
Yeah. And that's my kryptonite right there. Like at one point in life, you could almost sucker me into anything with pistachios. I was just like a mouse towards cheese, you know. You raise the pistachio bag in front of me and I'm just like, oh yes.
That's what's up. It's, good pistachios are good, man. So I feel you.
So I don't know if you was in the room, when I was explaining like the reason I wanted to do today's topic, but I'm gonna just, say it again for anyone who jumped in the room since then.
Right.
Today's topic was brought to us by Gary Owen and the Breakfast Club. So the other day I was listening to Gary Owen. He was doing an interview with the Breakfast Club. And within it, he was talking about the demise of his marriage, And he was saying, like the typical response that you would get from most people when they're in a relationship, like it's no one person's fault. There's many factors as to what led to the relationship ending, But the one thing he kept on harping on, that he kept coming back that stood out in my mind was the fact that he said multiple times, I was emotionally checked out, or I was emotionally tapped, And he talked about the times that they, unbeknownst to everyone else in the media sphere, they did therapy and tried to make the relationship work and tried, swinging and try other factors. And he said with each thing, what would come eventually would be, I'm emotionally tapped out. I'm not thinking about the situation. I'm not thinking about this relationship. I'm cheating and I'm getting sloppy with the cheating. And then he was just like, I got to the point where I was just like, I'm so checked out. It's almost a disservice to you to continue this relationship, And that was moving me because like there's been times for myself, even recently, where I felt that way, like where I've been emotionally checked out, from relationships, from situationships, where I'm like, damn, like, is like, am I being selfish for saying, like I need to move on, create that space, or, do I owe it to you to continue to try to do it, even though it's disservicing me at this point, And he brought up a lot of feelings that like I kind of felt myself, even when I was going through situations as far as like the guilt of ending things, especially when the person you're in a relationship with doesn't really want the relationship to end, but it's all coming from you, and you feel like, yo, we run our course, Like you might be happy, but I'm unhappy, Like I want to be respectful to you, but at the same time, I gotta be respectful to me, But I'm gonna open it up to you and also to the floor, and let's chop it up, guys. How do you feel? How do y'all feel about being emotionally checked out? Is there a way to kind of cure being emotionally checked out or kind of circumvent being checked out in relationships? Is there like a way to kind of spice it up, or is it merely just us checking out and just outgrowing each other?
No, that's a loaded question. I could
I
say
know
this.
it's a lot I threw at you, So
I could say this though. I could say that I didn't watch the whole thing. The Gary Owens dude. I only seen the snippet. Um, so I don't know too much about extenuating circumstances regarding
oh
his
no,
past
yeah, we're gonna
relationship.
relate more to us. Yeah, I was
Huh?
just using him as the gateway to the conversation.
Okay. In that case, of course, there's a such thing as emotionally tapped out, emotionally emotionally checked out. Of course, there are. I wouldn't say cure because it's not a disease. It's shit. It's like when you feel drained. Like you go to the gym and you push yourself too much, you're gonna feel drained. You're gonna wake up in the next day and your body's gonna be beat the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? It's not a disease. It's a matter of energy, how you use energy. It's a matter of, mindfulness. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, the person who's emotionally tapped out or emotionally checked out, they're accountable for their own energy. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, is no real excuse for cheating. Honestly, there's no real excuse for cheating. If you feel that you've gotten to a point where you want to explore the options, or you feel you've gotten to a point where the person that you're with is no longer doing it for you, you are obligated to let this person know. We're not kids anymore. And that's with his ass too. I don't care how old you are. It's still 80-year-old niggas is out here running around like young boys. You're not kids anymore, man. Like if somebody ain't doing it for you, have a sit down with that person, let them know. If they still ain't, I was reading this. There was something that came to my mind in the word in Matthew. I think it was chapter either 8 or chapter 13 in Matthew. They say Matthew the Bible. Um, it talks about how to handle disputes, and they suggest and they say if you have a dispute with your brother or your sister, bring it to them first. Have a sit down with them first. If they still not listening, bring in 2 or 3 other people that could serve as witnesses, some
Okay.
close people, and have the conversation with them. If they still not listening, bring the situation to the church. If they still not listening, then treat them the same way you would treat a bill collector or a pagan. I feel like people who are emotionally checked out, they get in this space where they don't want to hurt the other person and end up hurting the other person, which is the stupidest thing ever. I can honestly say, in a relationship with my lady, I've had some of the most difficult conversations I've ever had to have with any woman I've ever shared a walk with. The most, I'm talking about some conversations that had me straight shook that this relationship wasn't going to last because I had to be accountable for some shit. It's grown business. We ain't kids. It's grown business. And when you're sharing a walk with somebody, you are obligated to be vulnerable and transparent with that person because we're not controlling the other person. We're walking with them. We're not putting the person on a leash and yanking them along. We're not putting handcuffs on the person and telling them, hey, you gotta come. No, we're asking a person to walk with us. So in order to do that, we have to day by day earn this person's trust. We have to day by day check in with this person, see where they at. There's going to be days that you have to acquiesce. There's going to be days that the other person has to acquiesce. But if you feel like there's too many days that you're giving and you're not receiving, you're obligated in the name of self-care, in the name of self-love, to sit down with this person and express. Because if you don't do it and you go ahead and cheat or you go ahead and do some fuck ass shit because you're emotionally tapped out, that doesn't make what you did right. You would have been in the right if you sat down and conversed. You would have been in the right if you sat down and expressed yourself. You would have been in the right if you did it several times and said, you know what, this cannot go further. It's so weird. It's so weird. People do the weirdest things to try to avoid hurting somebody, and then they go ahead and do some shit for themselves and end up hurting the same person. This shit weird as fuck, man. And
I
I'm
understand
guilty
that
of it.
though.
I'm
Yeah,
guilty
I'm
of
about to
it. I'm
say
not
because
saying this shit to. I'm guilty of this shit.
that's what I'm about to say. I'm guilty of it because I'm one of them people. Like I don't try to hurt you, like, but I do. I will have the conversation, and I'm gonna speak to my last situation that was kind of similar to like this. My last situation, I actually had the conversation where I was like painting my issues because we weren't in a relationship, but it was like along them relationship lines. And I was explaining my details of what was agitating me. It wasn't even agitating me. It was just I was in a space where it wasn't bothering me as much. So I knew it didn't mean to me as much as it did before. And I could kind of feel myself not pulling away, but just kind of slowly like drifting away, like where like my ties and my feelings towards her was differentiated, like if that makes sense, like, and it wasn't like on a malicious tip of like I was trying to, but it was just naturally, organically happening where it was just like, you know what, I'm tired of dealing with this. Like I'm tired of telling you I'm tired of this. Like, so at this point, like my soul was just kind of doing it for me where it was just like, you know what, I was transitioning so much where like even like the slightest thing that just would annoy me, it was just like, you know what, I just got to get up out of here. I can't even be around. I got to create my space. Like where like at times, like, and it was like how you said, like it wasn't trying to hurt him, but at the same time, it was hurting her because it was just like, I would get to the point where I would see the name call and I'd be like, I'm not gonna pick up that call, or you know what, they asked to hang out, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't really feel like dealing with that energy today. Like to the point where it's just like, well, dog, are we cool anymore? You know, like where I was getting that energy from her, where she was asking me like, are we in a good space? And I'm just like, we cool, but it's just like, I don't know, like I'm drifting away from you. I don't even want to be around you, not in a bad way, but it's just like I'm I'm taxed, you know, like it's nothing like I really want from you, you know, like honestly at this point your energy is more draining to me. Like I can't even have a regular conversation without feeling drained at the end of it. Even if you aren't even asking nothing of me at this point, you know. And for me, I was just like, you know what, it was hard because like I had real history with the person, so it was like obviously that I don't want to hurt them, you know, like this person means a lot to me. This person has meant a lot to me. But at the same time, it was just like, you know what, I'm done though, you know, like where can I pour from if there's nothing to pour from? You know, where can I, you know, I don't know. You know, I was really at a space where I was just like I was done. Like I ain't even had no words for why I was done or what led to it. It was just like I was done. Like I just knew I couldn't do it no more. Like my soul and my body was just on like, you know what, this is it. Like regardless of what you want to do, we're done. Like
I respect that. Yo, women are so dope, man. Women are so dope. Women are so dope. Thorough women.
Well, they are, but why?
Thorough women are so dope. A thorough woman don't want nothing more from you than honesty. The easiest and the most freest thing ever. A thorough woman don't want nothing from you more than honesty, yo. All right. And this is another reason why I fall back in saying that respect is heavier than loyalty to me. Because a thorough woman will go, look, you can hurt me, it'll hurt, whatever. Just tell me the truth. You tell her the truth. Let's say y'all break up because the truth is just that real. She will always have in her heart that you a real nigga. She will always have in your heart that you were honest. She can separate you from the rest. It's saying, you know what? He did some fuck shit, but at least he never lied to me. He did some fuck shit, but at least he never cheated. He thorough. He stand up. He has a lot of growing up to do, but at least he ain't on some other shit as these other motherfuckers is on. You break the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Niggas really be fucking scratching and clawing for loyalty so much that they run with blind loyalty. They rather a shorty run with them, roll with them, by any means necessary. And then they lose the respect and the loyalty at the end. Women are so dope, man. Thorough women, not all women. Not all women. Same with niggas. Thorough niggas, not all niggas.
I was about to say that go hand in hand because, you know, like honestly, that respect thing do go hand in hand. Like I respect the shorty, you know, like if she do that same thing for me, like just keep it honest and just say, look, this situation isn't serving her no more. She want to move on, you know. I can respect that, you know, because at least like you giving me the game, you know, like you giving me honesty, you let me know what it is from the start, like you giving me an opportunity, like I had the opportunity to make it work. Obviously, I couldn't make it happen, and it is what it is. Like we can go because I had, you know, separations where it's gone amicably, you know, and this was another facet I actually pulled from the Gary Owen interview that stood out to me was like he was saying it was just like if the relationship ends chaotically, like where there's a lot of I hate yous, you know, more times than that, the love wasn't really there, like, and that kind of caught my eye because honestly, in some of my past relationships, that's kind of where I felt, you know, as opposed to like if the relationship ended, you know, in a somewhat ample way, like you expect a certain level of anger and frustration from your mate, you know, when a relationship ends. But as the days and months pass by, you know, like the bond or the relationship you had, I think kind of reveals itself like in how she handles the breakup or how he handles the breakup, you know, and just in the decorum, how they respect you afterwards, you know. So, like, for me, like a lot of people know, like I was engaged last year. So when that relationship ended, you know, like we weren't on no I hate you type stuff. Like the energy was weird, you know, like we weren't the biggest fans of each other, but
like when it was over and was said and done, you know, like months later, we aren't best friends, but like if we see each other, we can have a conversation. You know, it is an animosity there. Like when we left the relationship, we both knew, okay, I'm leaving because I need something better. Like, and if not nothing better, something different, something that's more for me. You know, like, and there's no knock on you per se. You know, either way around, it's just, you know, what you offer isn't really catering to what I need. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that was really a testament of to who we were, like as far as like the care and love that we had for each other. Like while it might not have lasted romantically, like it was there, you know, like at least, you know, like that we had that natural respect for each other, at least when things was over, you know. As opposed to some relationships where it's just like I hate you, and I'm left wondering like, well, damn, did you really care about me? Did you really mean what you said, or were there's just words, you know, at the moment, you know? Because it's easy to love someone when you're feeling all lovey-dovey and your needs are being met. But like, you gonna really show me how much you really love me when I get on your nerves, where I've pissed you off, where I'm not your favorite person on the list. That's really gonna show me how much you really love me and how much you really respected all that I offered to this relationship, or all that I offered to you, you know?
Man, I ain't gonna hold you, man. Don't get all
No,
hyped up on what this white boy's saying, because half of the shit he's saying lame as fuck. I said it. Half of what Owen, whatever fuck his name is, lame shit. The motherfucker is a white boy who got money from telling jokes. I respect him. I salute him, but he has a lot of lame tendencies. Let's not get this shit twisted. There ain't no way that you gonna hate something that you ain't love at first. I ain't never, never said that I hated anything in my life that I ain't loved first to begin with. The opposite of love is apathy. It is not hate. Hate is an inverted expression of love. That means that somebody's hurt. If somebody says they hate you, they loved you at one point, and something got fucked up in the crossroads. Either something
is
that
that
they
always the
have to
case
fuck.
though?
What's up?
I said, do you feel like that's always the case though? Like if they
Always. Because why waste your time hating something if you never had some genuine feeling towards it in the first place? That makes no
I feel that.
sense.
I feel that, but I do feel like sometimes we as people over exaggerate that I hate. You know, it's more so sometimes it's I'm hurt, I'm bothered by the situation. I don't necessarily hate it, but I'm more so annoyed that I'm in this position or like you hurt me, you know, or maybe my ego's damaged, you know.
That's hurt.
Okay.
We saying the same shit.
Okay.
That's hurt. Either I hurt myself because I lied to myself because I had some strong feelings about you and I lied to myself walking in this motherfucker, or you lied to me and I had some strong feelings and I walked into this motherfucker and the sun knows. So fuck it, I hate you. Fuck going on. I hate you either because I hate myself in this moment, or I hate you because bitch you lied to me. One of the two.
I can dig it.
I mean, but I will give you this though. We tend to overuse hate a lot in society. We do. We tend to overuse hate a lot, and you know, but once again, when we express these faults of another person by saying, "Hey, I blank you," you know what I'm saying? It's usually, once again, to the benefit of what you're saying as far as, you know, society overusing it. It's usually us wanting to say what we feel but not knowing how to articulate it. It's usually us trying to identify something in a circumstance or in a relationship that needs to be fixed, that needs to have attention towards it, but we don't know how to articulate it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody wants attention because they're attention oriented, but they don't know how to express that because they're still dealing with the trauma as far as being neglected. You know what I'm saying? So they expect you to understand that, and when you don't understand it and you going through all the times that you're going through still doing your thing, hey, I hate you. Like, I and maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me, but I swing things back on me. I swing things back on me. It hurts a lot, but I swing things back on me. Whenever somebody says something regarding me, I look at myself and I say, why would somebody say this regarding me? I don't have to play volleyball and serve it back to you. That shit don't do nothing for me. Because if we gonna do that, I'm gonna be here wasting time. We going back and forth, hurting each other, and we gonna end up in a situation where it's like, why the fuck did we even start in the first place? Nah, let me sit with this shit and figure some shit out. Let me try to see this shit from your lens. I feel at it sometimes because I'm still new to it, but let me try to see things from your lens. I put things as far as accountability on me. I'd rather say, you know what? I can see how you hate me. I can see how I could be hateful. I can see how I could be lazy or to you, or I can see how I could be ignorant. I can see how I could be, you know what I'm saying? I could lack mindfulness. I even catch myself in ego moments. I'm like, yeah, that's ego talking. That's straight ego talking. I don't have time for me to be so inside of a shell of non-development that I won't at least show you a part of me that's so real that you understand that I'm working. Because I don't want to be where I am. Where I am has me where I am, and I'm meant for so much more. So I have to continue to grow. I have to continue to build. I don't have a choice based upon my principles and my morals and my ethical code. I don't have a choice because the buck don't stop here for me.
You speaking facts. You speaking facts. Like I like that. I like that that mantra. You know, like and not letting it stop there. Damn. I'm trying to think. Do I have any more the pull from with this? This is actually like a topic like we all agreement on more so than I thought. So this is good and it's bad, you know, in a sense. But all right, go more from the chat. Okay, so let me ask you: do you feel there's a way to avoid being emotionally checked out in a relationship? Like, is there certain? All right, detail. Like
Absolutely.
how you feel like you can, you know, keep from being checked out emotionally within a relationship, you know, platonically or a relation or romantically.
Man, you need to have a fucking backbone. And I don't mean that to be jokeful. I don't mean that to be joking at all. I really mean that you need to have a backbone. You need to be able to do for self in a way that fulfills yourself, in a way that aims for the things that you are setting as far as goals, as far as principles, um as far as things that you aspire towards, as far as your purpose. You need to do for self. You will be completely drained. You will be depressed. You will be anxious ridden. You will have all the mental and even physiological and even physical diseases that exist for a person to have if you live your life completely for another person. Because what the fuck are you doing for you? You ain't doing shit for yourself. You ain't doing shit for yourself. Look, you want to stop, you want to prevent yourself from being emotionally checked. Do something that makes you happy. Genuinely makes you happy. Not something that brings you pleasure. Pleasure goes from here to there. And happiness goes from here to there too. Joy lasts more than happiness. But the difference between pleasure and happiness is something that can actually add to you without you necessarily need. When you work for happiness is different from when you work for pleasure. When you work for pleasure, you on a hamster wheel. When you work for happiness, you can theoretically get off the pleasure wheel and you can chill at the fucking corner with the water at. That's happiness. That's happiness. The hamster wheel is the pleasure. The water is the happiness. Happiness sustains you. You know what I mean? The hamster wheel ain't gonna keep you cool in the summertime. You know what I'm saying? The hamster wheel ain't gonna be able to sustain you with life bearing fluid when you dehydrated. But you keep running on that motherfucker, you gonna have a serotonin high like a motherfucker. You gonna be like, I'm high as shit. I'm high as shit. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You know what I mean? So you gotta fill your own basin. You know what I mean? And that can come by the way of, you know, doing the things that you know is meant for you and your purpose, being spiritually invested. You see what I'm saying? Being whatever you are as far as your community, as far as your family, whatever it takes for you to be aligned with your purpose and aligned with why you know that you're here, you need to connect with that. Because if you continue to just drain yourself and just pour into another person, and you're not allowing yourself to be poured into, or you're not pouring into yourself, you're going to be an empty cup, man. You're going to be an empty glass. And of course you're going to be checked out. You're going to be like, man, I ain't got nothing for. You know what? Another trap is when people be like, y'all want to make you happy. How can you make another person happy if they're not happy? If a person is determined not to be happy, who the fuck are you to think that you're going to make them happy?
Right. That's the ego.
Straight up.
That's the ego of the person. Because speaking of that, that's a situation I've been in before, like trying to make somebody happy, and like really it was my own ego at the end of it, like motivating it all, because even as in my mind I would say I want to make her happy, the thought alone was like I was the only person that can make her happy, or I was the only one that can do it, like I brought like these special abilities that was just gonna make everything so much better. And honestly, it stressed me out to a point where it was like doing more harm to me, because I'm prioritizing too much in my day of like, all right, what can I do to make her happy? Like, is this gonna go? Is this gonna work? Should we talk about this? Or is she gonna be on this type of energy? Stuff that I shouldn't even be concerning myself with. But now that I'm making it my concern, it's becoming a hassle on me in my day to day. And even in how I'm dealing and processing things on my end, and even in my own relationships, because when you get on that mindset of like I'm trying to make somebody else happy and you trying to appease somebody else's needs, like you're forgetting about all that you got to do yourself, but you're also adding your stress to your stress, and taking on their issues, for yourself. And more times than not, they don't even want you to do that, So you just kind of really just interfering in their life and making more of a mess of your life, and burn yourself down at the time.
Man, real shit, man. Real shit. And like, I want to add something, right? Because I don't want to sound all stoic and shit. Like, we don't influence other people's mental states, emotional states, and so forth and so on. When I say that you can't make another person happy, if a person has happiness in their heart, if a person has joy in their heart, they can be going through some shit. But if the foundation is joy, if the foundation is happiness, they could go through some shit, but you can still light the path with your natural energy. You see what I'm saying? They say that black holes, the density of a black hole can swallow light. So if your foundation is that of a black hole, it's unsatiated depression or it's unsatiated negativity, that is what you feed upon. I don't care how great your light you believe it to be, if the foundation of another person is a black hole to swallow that light will dissipate. It will go into a different dimension. It will be sucked somewhere else. Whereas as far as this reality, it will no longer exist as that light. The foundation has to be some type of light. It has to be some type of light, so that even if shit gets dim, you can light a fire, you can light a torch, you can light a candle. Oh, okay, I can see around now. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, okay, I remember this hallway. I remember this corridor. Or even if I don't, we could walk together until, yeah, all right, cool. It's a little lighter up there. It's a little lighter at the end of the tunnel. It gotta be something like that. Otherwise, what you think you expect when you light a fucking candle in pitch black? In pitch black.
It's not going to do much,
Ain't gonna do shit. Like, you have to move. You light a
Yeah.
candle in pitch black. You light a fire in pitch black. You gotta move. You gotta move towards somewhere that has some type of source for the two lights to connect in order for a pathway to actually be established. Otherwise, you're one singular light in a vast space of darkness, which only constitutes for that one singular light being in a vast space of darkness. Now, there's light somewhere. Don't get me wrong. It's not like to say that somebody or anybody is 100% light. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
But it's a difference between the foundation of a ground and the steeple of a chapel. The steeple of a chapel is much sharper, much more acute than the foundation of a ground, which is much wider. If your darkness is the foundation of a ground, much wider, it's going to take a long ass fucking time for a candle to travel through all that vastness to be able to connect to where the other source of light is.
No, you speaking facts. And beyond all that, it's impossible to make somebody else happy. Like, regardless of what you do, say, whatever. Like, if you're unhappy internally, you're going to be unhappy internally. Like, and there's nothing you can do about it until you fix that within inside first. Like whether and honestly, at that point, you know, like you kind of got to find like what's going to motivate you to get up out that black hole. Like, as a person that cares about you, you can suggest, but it all starts with the person that's going through it. Like, one, they got to be committed to improving themselves and wanting to see change, and not wanting to be a dark hole themselves. You know, like sometimes we get comfortable into the notion of being, oh, whoa, bad things happen to me, you know, so this is just how it's going to be, you know, or get caught up into like a negative mindset and just stay there, you know, like, and as somebody who used to do that himself, you know, I know how dangerous that is as the person that's in that space and the person that's trying to save someone from being in that space. So for me, like at this point in my life, being on both sides of the coin, like I kind of try to keep myself removed from it, or even keep myself from even going into that space. So I got tactics that I got a hand. Like when I start feeling like that turn in my soul, like where I start feeling like a little depressed, a little out of it, I go to my bag of tricks of, yo, let me try to get a workout in, you know, let me try to do something active, you know, let me read a book, let me do something different, you know, let me tap into my creative juices or something, like let me listen to a song or get my dance on, you know, do something like that's like I enjoy or that's out of my norm to like kind of get the flow moving, like kind of get me moving where like I just know like if my body moving more times than not and I'm doing it like in a way, like an energetic way, like dancing, I know more times than not, whatever I'm going through is going to turn around. You know, like I know dancing is one of my joys. I might not be the greatest dancer, but when I dance, I know it brings me joy. I know it takes me to a space where whatever I'm going through in that moment is gone. Like it gives me that pleasure moment, like he was talking about, but it doesn't give me the need of where I'm like seeking pleasure. It kind of just gives me like the space where I need to kind of give me that clarity so I can process what I'm going through and handle it accordingly, but also handle it in a productive way where I'm not kind of shooting myself in the foot in the process of.
Yeah, I agree. I recently realized that one of the things that make me happy is learning. Honestly, information and learning make me happy. Sometimes when I feel stagnant,
Hey, me too.
nah, real shit. Sometimes when I feel stagnant, I need to read something. I need to read something, or I need to watch something that's going to stimulate my mind, that's going to stimulate my imagination, that's going to stimulate thoughts. Otherwise, I'm going to be like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? Like sometimes I be physically hungry only because I am misrepresenting what the hunger is. I be like, I really be hungry for information. I really be hungry to learn. And because I'm either too lazy or too somewhere else in my mind to really recognize it, I mistake it for physical hunger. It's like, yo, I gotta eat something. Yeah, I gotta eat something, but it ain't gotta be a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then once again, connecting it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do for self. You know what I mean? I feel better after I read because I know that I've done something throughout the day that's constructive for me. I know I've done something in the day that's constructive for me. I give everywhere else. And I'm a giver, so I don't trip on it. But I need to be able to refill my shit, man. I gotta refill my shit. And one of the things I do to refill my shit is read. You know what I'm saying? So that I can have certain information. I can be able to learn certain things that I know that I want to learn. And then I can share that information with people that I love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what brings me happiness. That's one of the things that bring me happiness. If I don't do that for a long period of time, yes, I will be angry. Yes, I will be frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm gonna be looking at shit like, and it took me a long time for me to reacclimate to getting to this place, because I went several years and I wasn't reading shit. I went several years and I wasn't doing art. You know what I'm saying? I was just rapping and shit. And I was just angry rapping. I couldn't understand why the fuck I was so angry and shit. You know what I'm saying? My mentality was angry. The way I talked was angry. Like I would have this sharp ass tongue that would hurt everybody around me, my mom included at the time. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't understanding why. It's because I'm only exercising one avenue of all these gifts and talents of mine that are meant to be not only therapeutic, but to help me to process, to help me to grow.
You speaking facts, and Jeide, everything you saying, I agree with 110%, because I was even going through the same thing myself. Like that's what sparked the need to listen to the audiobooks while I'm at work, because it has that thirst of knowledge. And honestly, I didn't even know I was craving it until it happened. You know, like, and once I started listening to the books, and I started feeling like, honestly, I started feeling my own self change, you know, and like how, like I was feeling about myself, and it was just like, oh, okay, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been hungry for. Like this thirst of knowledge I've been seeking, you know, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get too far, we got a question for you. So the question was, Jeide, what's one of your favorite genres to read or info to intake?
One of my favorite genres is self-help,
Self-help.
self-motivation. I'm currently reading. I just finished Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm currently reading Think
Ooh.
and Grow. Yeah, it's a great book. I'm currently reading Think and Grow Rich physically, and on digital, I am reading. Yes. That's
I
another good.
gotta
I
start
like.
that. That's next on my list.
Yeah. And I love the way it's written too. Think and Grow Rich is written so, I want to say simple, but it's written so fun. It has a way more fun format. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, he writes in a fly way, but he has certain, I don't want to say cynicisms, because they're not really cynicisms, but it's just the way that he talks that, it could be off-putting. I respect it, but it could be off-putting. So that means emotionally, depending on where I am, I look at it and I read and I'll be like, I get it, but let's just continue to read and, get what we gonna get. I'm a lot more colder reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, even though it's a warm read. But Think and Grow Rich is way more warmer. It's way more fun. The grammar use, there's more like you can tell a lot from how people use exclamation marks. Within the first chapter of Think and Grow Rich, I saw more exclamation marks than I could recall from reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. And the exclamation mark says a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because in serious writing, exclamation marks aren't really given its credit and its due in serious writing. You know what I'm saying? So physically, I just started on reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and on digital, I'm reading Mastery by Robert Greene.
Okay. I'm liking that. That was. I'm actually. I have a hard time pronouncing her name, but that was from the commenter
That's
RORSTLL.
Rory. Yeah, that's Rory. Shout
Rory.
out to
Okay.
Rory, yo. Rory is a brilliant black sci-fi writer, and
Oh.
she and a creative altogether. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rory. She has some things going. Her book Flashbang is available on the West Coast in several stores, and it's also available online. So shout out to her, y'all. Y'all cop up on Flashbang, yo. Science fiction. It's science fiction, mini tales.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I got to check that book out, because that's actually on my list of things to read upcoming. Got a nice little short list of books that's up on there, like the read, and that's on the audio. So for me personally, like lately, all right. So lately I've been like breaking it down, like where I'm like, I'm gonna separate the ones I'm gonna read from the ones I'm listening to, like audio, and I've been making it more of a priority to like listen to like the financial and the business literature books, while I'm at work, because those are the ones that's been pulling at me the most as far as like, honestly, like my lack of knowledge has been like fueling it, but it's, I guess my passion and thirst to want to learn more, was been fueling it to keep on going, you know, like, so with each day, like, and even the books I listened to or read through, like I'm feeling the urge to want to reread them or re-listen to them again and again, you know, so I've like fully evolved every principle that's been placed up in the book or like that stood out to me, like where I'm like fully knowledgeable and I'm really making it like a conscious effort of my day to day, like even in my money management, like a few of the tactics that's been standing out, like it's been helpful for me, like on my on my day to day life, like, so damn, I forgot where I was going with that. I think I was getting sidetracked too much with that, but overall, the books has been beneficial to my growth and evolving as a man. You know, like just personally, mentally, emotionally. You know, and as far as like getting me mentally right, you know, like in the right spirit, like the business and financial has been putting me in a space where I can look at things objectively and differently than I have before. And the traits and tactics I've been losing, like as far as like money management, saving, investing, has been big for me. So like this week was the first week I actually went out and like brought a whole stock when my paycheck came, and I started implementing one of the rules that was said up in there, like um, invest in yourself before you invest in your bills. You know, I forget if that's the proper term for it, but that's pretty much
That's
it.
the yeah. That's. Listen, it ain't. I honestly, and I'm gonna give it right back to you. But and this is just for the benefit of you not getting hung up on technical terminology or verbatim. My nigga, as long as you understand the principles, that's all that matters, and that's the principle. That's one of the main principles that he pushes. Pay yourself first. Like pay yourself first, whether it's paying yourself as far as putting aside a little bit for your savings, or whether it's pay yourself as putting aside a little bit for, you know what I mean, investments. Savings and investments, they both go in the same asset column. Pay yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Because income isn't an asset. So it's not a liability, but income is just income. It's just money waiting to be spent. So you either spend it on yourself by saving or by using it on yourself, or you spend it on liabilities like bills, like food, things of that nature.
See, and that was my biggest problem. So that actually leads into the topic of emotionally checked out, because a lot of what I used to do in the past was paying others first, like
Yeah.
investing in liabilities, like making sure everybody in the house ate, everybody was good, feeling like that was my duty and my job as a man to like make sure everybody was good. And it's just like, no, that's not, like I don't have to make sure everybody good. Like, yeah, I'm obviously, because I love y'all, I'm going to make sure like y'all good to an extent, but I got to make sure I'm good first. And like my ideology was all messed up, because as a man, I was always thinking, let me take care of everybody else and I'll take care of myself next, you know. And I was
Mm-hmm.
always working that will, like, all right, let me get up so I can take care of them, so I can be in a position to take care of myself, instead of being like, you know what, let me take care of me. And then once I'm good, then I can allocate some resources to everybody else, you know, to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that they're good, you know. So it's been beneficial in that way, because that's the biggest lesson it's taught me, you know. And even with that, I've been able to realize that's been the root of why I've been emotionally checked out in a lot of past relationships, because I created that pattern of where, you know, I created that pattern of where they could come to me for anything, you know, where they were coming to me for anything, you know. And this is not just family, but this is also my friends too, you know. So when I really started to like really look at myself and really started to take serious note of my money spending and really take, you know, better care of myself and prioritizing myself and what was best for me, you know, it did rub feathers the wrong way, you know, and my family and my friends, because I was shaking up things, you know, I'm changing up what they knew. I'm changing everything that I established. I'm becoming a new me, you know, and being a new me wasn't beneficial to all the parts around me, you know. So like obviously when that change occurs, that starts changing other people, you know. And with that change, you know, like you start being tapped out by like the same resources, especially when you're trying to elevate to a new level. And it's just like, all right, I've been resonating at this wave for so long, and this just doesn't suit me, anymore. It's not conducive to where I want to be or to where I'm trying to go. So like I gotta change to grow. I gotta change and grow in the process of changing my circumstances. And like a lot of times when you do that, you do lose people. Like.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
like you said, the real ones stay. The real ones stay. Like, and it is a benefit because you do realize who is there for you as opposed to what you provide.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. And also, provision is something you gotta look at too. You know what I mean? I'll tell you a story. It's gonna fuck your head up a little bit. So my supervisor at Home Depot, he a cook, right? Not a cook like in a restaurant, but he cooks well. Like he learned from his parents and he cooks. It even
I
got
couldn't
to a
string them
point,
all together.
word. It even got to a point that he started cooking like platters and shit. You know what I mean? Bringing them into work. He would cook for people that he fuck with. You know what I mean? Sell some platters or whatnot. You know, he moved from where he used to live to where he could cook to a new space or whatnot, so he had to switch his MO. But something that he told me was like, when he cooks like that on a larger scale, and I've heard a lot of chefs and cooks say this, when he cooks like that on the larger scale, by the time he's done cooking, he don't even want to eat. You know what
All
I'm
the
saying?
time.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, and then it brings into question, all right, you love what you do, you have a passion for it, but you do this for so many people. You don't even have anything for yourself except for the actual pleasure in seeing the people you cook for eat, because
Yeah.
that's a different payment. You know what I'm saying? That's a different payment. But when he switched up what he was doing because he moved from an apartment to a different space, or he moved from a room to an apartment, if I'm not mistaken, he had to switch things up. He still had people coming to him like, "Hey man, could you cook me this?" Or, "Hey, what happened to the you know what I'm saying, to the platters and shit." Now, there's still provision, it's still a supply and demand, but there's circumstances that have changed. You know what I mean? Right now his focus is on, day trading. His focus is on financial literacy and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Not to say he don't cook like that no more, but his space is different. He doesn't have the space for him to cook that way. You know what I mean? He has a focus on something else. His primary focus is on something else. So it's not like you're gonna have a lot of people acknowledge that, because it might not resonate for them. Some people might just want to fuck with you for the jerk chicken. Like, that's why I fuck with you. I fuck with you. What you doing? Why you switching things up? Like, for real. Niggas be
No,
like,
that's
yo, I fuck
real.
with you.
Yeah.
Listen, my nigga, I had niggas, and this is old news. Like, niggas that know me know. I had niggas that came to me and be like, yo, man, why you not rapping? You know what I mean? Like, starting to sing, like, oh, you singing now. Why you know what I'm saying? Stick with the rapping, or that. They couldn't understand the vision. Like, I'm not a rapper, I'm an artist. They couldn't understand the vision. I could sit back, I could take a year off of my art, sit back and focus on something else, come back, and my art will be doper. Because at the core of who I am, I'm an artist. Shout out to Kang. Kang is in here right now for life. I love Kang. That's my nigga. I love Kang. Kang is one of the main reasons that I got back into arting. He's one of the main reasons. I met Kang when I was just rapping. I left the arts. Kang is one of the most consistent and dopest fucking artists I know. I put my money on Kang. I put my fucking money on. Niggas ain't fucking with my brother. Real shit. I'm talking about whether it comes to the pen, whether it comes to the cars, or whether it comes to the paint. Niggas ain't fucking with him. I put money on that. His fire helped to re-inspire me. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm an artist too. What the fuck am I doing? Like, I be having all these emotions up in here. I ain't doing shit with it. He helped inspire me to get back in my shit. I only say all of that to say, look, once again, I took several years off from art, came back. My dopeness just, it elevated at a you know what I mean, at a fast pace or whatnot, because I had to get it back, and then, you know what I mean, it evolved into something else, because in the core of who I am, I'm a fucking artist, yo. That's who I am. I don't have to art every single day for me to prove that to myself. Everything is art to me. I can have a conversation with somebody, and the words I hear, the sequence of the words, the intonation of somebody speak, It's art to me. I can find art. I can find reasons for me to put it in a verse. I can find the tone of somebody's voice and turn it into a color and put it on the canvas. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's real shit. Like, you know your purpose. And I honestly, like, going back to your point, like that you was talking about with your guy, like when you know your purpose, and honestly, when people know you for a certain thing and when you do change up, that do rub them the wrong way. They do start seeking that old thing. It's like that old Jay-Z quote that he said like so long ago, where he was just like, you know, cats get mad at me for changing and be like, you do all this to change. Like, yeah, I've done all this to change. Like, exactly. Like, that's why it is. Like, you don't, and like, even if they don't understand the vision of what you're going through, you understand the vision. Like, you understand why you're moving the way you move. Like, and sometimes, like, well, more times than not, like, that you just kind of got to be okay with and comfortable with the fact that nobody gonna understand the vision but you. You know, like that's why you were given the vision. You know, and that's kind of the whole that you got to take with that overall. Like, and for me personally, that's been like the one that's been one of the overhearing messages like that's been like beaten into me within the messaging of the books. Like, what's for me is meant for me. You know, like so like my mom's not gonna understand it. Like my boy's not gonna understand it. My family's not going to understand. Like, as long as I have an understanding of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, that's all that matters. Like, from there, I feel like, you know, I can motivate, you know, like, and if I continue to keep doing this, that, and the third, I'll put myself in a position. But as long as I understand the mission at hand, I can handle that, you know, and I can do that, you know. But also requires, you know, being in tune with who I am and make sure it's serving my core, my purpose too, you know. We talked a lot in this conversation about being emotionally checked out of relationships, but as far as like being emotionally checked out of like a job or a passion, you know, like people don't really talk about that. Like, it's kind of given like this negative connotation of like, yo, you quit, you know, like, and it's not necessarily always quitting, but sometimes it's just finding who you are or finding like your biggest purpose in life. Like, because I do feel like us as people, we do have more than one purpose on this world, you know. And it's just a matter of what resonates to you the most, that you might walk in the light of doing more so than others. Because I do feel like, for me personally, I do feel like cooking is a purpose, but I don't feel like that's my only purpose. Like, I do hear and I see, like, in my relationships, like, the conversations I have with people, like, whether that's advice or just being a listening ear, emotional support. I'm here to love, you know, like that's one of my purposes, you know, like love, you know, and like that's romantically and platonically. That's not necessarily mean in a romantic sense, but it's just love. Like, I get a lot of conversations from like people that I'm close with, friends more so than not, but family as well, like where they're just like, you know what, I need that conversation, D, or you called me at the right time. Like, I actually even had a friend that I reached out to. I hadn't talked to in months, you know, and I don't know what got into me because normally I don't reach out to people, but like this person was just so heavy on my thoughts. I was just like, nah, I got to. And when I did, like, she was just in such a good space. She was just like, yo, I really appreciate, like at the end of the conversation, she was like, yo, I really appreciate you just calling because I needed this. And I ain't even feel like you was in the space to really be available. So I didn't even want to bother you, you know, and I was just going to thug it out alone. And I was just like, nah, like I'm glad I did, but next time don't hesitate, you know. And as I said that, I thought about the plenty of times like friends have told me that same thing. Yo, don't hesitate to call me, you know, when you're going through some things. And I always hesitated. I always been like, you know what, I'm a thug this out alone. And I'm just like, you know what, maybe that's one of my purposes, to show love, you know, like to give love, to teach people how to love. So, you know, like she could keep on moving.
Yeah, facts. I mean,
So,
I know that we rolling off. I know we rolling over the hour point or whatnot, and you know what I'm saying. You know, the night is long on this end, man. I still got responsibilities and things of that nature that I need to jump to. So, on my end, as far as my lasting word, man, it's easy. We done talked about it already in regards to being emotionally checked out, and one of the ways to prevent it: pay yourself first, man. Pay yourself first. I'm talking more than finances. I'm gonna break things down as far as a day in the life for me. When I wake up before I go to work, I read. I pay myself first before I go to work, and I pay the world with my fucking labor. You feel what I'm saying? I pay myself first by feeding myself wisdom before I go to work and have to fucking slave and have to sacrifice energy and have to sacrifice physical labor to somebody else to drain myself. I get back home before I get to responsibilities and duties that are required of me that I will get to, because shit, the fuck, that's what I'm here for, right? I read or I'll watch something. I gotta feed this. I have to keep things moving in here. I gotta keep things moving in here, because it's only from a real pure place of work can I actually work and not feel like I'm slaving. Can I actually work and not feel like I am begrudgingly moving towards doing something? I have to be fed on all points. I have to be fed spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I can't expect anybody to do that for me. You feel what I'm saying? We grown. Once again, I said this shit earlier. We ain't kids no more. We grown. We prepare our own meals. And I mean that in more than just food. You feel me?
And actually, my lasting words is going to kind of sum that up as well, because like what you said really stuck out to me a lot. Because honestly, doing that same tactic that you did, and not necessarily like reading every morning, but I have made it a point of reference for me to get up an hour earlier than I had to. So like nowadays, I'm waking up at 2, so I can get some time for myself before I go out and just work all day and give all these hours to somebody else. Like, so I will say prioritize with paying yourself first. Prioritize yourself. Make it a priority. That you get your time. Like just like you make it a priority to wash up, to brush your teeth, to eat. Make sure you prioritize your time to learn, your time for yourself, your freedom. And your time to relax too. Because what we don't say enough is like you do need time to relax. Like take that time for yourself where you just decompress and you're not on that wheel of I gotta create, I want to do this, I want to do that. Give your brain a chance to rest. While you're awake. And just enjoy the sun. Smell some flowers, let the wind hit you. Appreciate life and let that inspire you. You want to hit these comments before we dunk out? I just seen these drawings hit up.
Yeah. So T the lady jumped in here. What's going on with you, love? She said, I'm at work now, finishing up the 7 spiritual laws to success and then moving on to think and grow rich again. I also appreciate being able to accept until you guys show. I guess she's saying, to be accepted into, okay, pardon me. Always inspiring and uplifting to see my kings doing what you do. Sorry, I'm voice recording. I didn't mean to say accept. I was supposed to say tap into. That's how I figured it. I kind of figured that. I heard that was a good read. Definitely check out 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Yes, I'm adding that to the list. I'm currently I'm currently writing down the list of all the books that I'm going to be reading, like along the queue of books that I already got. I'm definitely adding 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Much love, much love, much love.
I'm gonna add that too. And honestly, you guys, if y'all have any book suggestions, don't hesitate to throw them our way. We accept them all day, every day.
Yes.
So if you got, especially in the self-help, education, self-growth, financial literacy, and for me, a little murder mystery. So, like definitely tap in, share what y'all reading, what's on the nightstand, definitely appreciate that. Definitely need that. And before we get up out of here, I am going, speaking of authors, it's a book humor joke I heard like on Twitter the other day that had me rolling. Now they were speaking about books. They were just like, you ever notice how every book come out, everyone is a #1 best times New York seller? Just like, who the fuck is #2?
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny.
And when I seen that, it had me in tears. I was just like, yo, that's real.
That's funny. That's funny. I like that. That's funny.
So,
I like that.
Guys, if you weren't in the live earlier, as I said before, this upcoming Sunday, we will be off as we prepare for episode 200, you guys. So we're coming to a round, coming to an end. First 200 episodes have been simply amazing, looking forward to 200 more. But we got special guests for y'all this upcoming Wednesday, some special guest conversation. It's going to be a good one. So make sure y'all pull up, y'all unwind, you know. Of course, we're going, you know, post some things in the story. You know, I'm going to post a few of my favorite episodes, you know, so guys tap in, you know, so you can walk down memory lane with us, you know. And, you know, tap in on Wednesday when we do this thing again, live. Until then, make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel, Positive Vibes Maybe. Make sure y'all follow, damn, T-shirt Mercenary. Almost had a brain fart. You know, official sponsor for PVM. Make sure y'all tap into the DMs. Place your order for all T-shirts, hoodies, stickers, all that. It's going to be a positive vibe. Maybe winner, you know. So definitely make sure y'all have all that y'all need. Fly on over to Fly Mile Catering for your smoothies. Tap in with Kang for your artwork and your home decor. Tap in with Jeide to fix up your hat decor. Make sure you looking right, fellas. If your hairline is unsituated and you need something to get through the day, you don't want the girls looking at you all crazy. Make sure you hit Jeide line. Let them lace you with a dad hat, look fashionable. Hey, and the ladies gonna love you, you know. Just make sure your beard is intact. For real.
Word up, man. Word up.
Yeah, so we got a couple more comments I want to hit to before we jump out, and then we'll close out. So that was my phone telling me it's almost time to chat about. Tina Lady said, I'm a true book thief. Maybe y'all should suggest a book and do a show where we discuss it. Actually, Tina Lady, stay tuned because we got something in store and that book department coming up to you shortly. You know, definitely keep in line with us. We're on the same wavelength. We're on the same wavelength. Rory said, there is Black Panther Psychology by Alex Simmons. Okay. Definitely going to tap into that because honestly, been watching YouTube videos about the Black Panthers. Been inspiring me, been motivating me to want to learn a lot more. And then, and then Roy said smoothies. Oh yeah, fly on over to Fly My Catering. We take care of you over there. And guys, you know, enjoy y'all night. You know, enjoy y'all vices. Make sure y'all safe. Make sure y'all take care of yourselves. Make sure y'all drink y'all water. And you know, fellas, protect the ladies. You know, and enjoy y'all night. Be careful. Stay loved. Stay prayed up. We see y'all Wednesday.